Alright, welcome everyone. I know it's been about a month and a half since I last streamed. January was a very rough month in general for I think most people, but excluding all the stuff going on in the news, it was also very rough for me from multiple perspectives. For about a week, I was solo parenting as my wife was out of town, and then I was out of town on a trip. And then, as a result of that trip, which was a lot of fun, I went to Cabo in Mexico, but I got food poisoning. Work has been very busy, so I just put off streaming for a while until I felt like, for my own mental health, and just until I felt like I had enough time. I played significantly less in January than I did, I would say, in prior months because I've just been very busy and tired. But one thing that I have been playing, in the last week. Hey, Ocean Infinity. Yeah, it was very rough. I don't want to get into details, but let's just say I lost like 5 pounds. And you can draw your own conclusions from that. So one thing I will say is, with the latest or recent patch, the Foundation's Jumpstart cards are suddenly available online now. I had tested Bristly Bill as a proxy for Scythecat Cub, and while that gave me a pretty good idea of the capabilities of Cub, two things it did not allow me to fully test. Namely, Bill being a legend meant that I can't really play 4 copies without kind of a drawback of drawing too many. You don't really want to draw multiple Bill. The second thing is I probably didn't get the reps / realize the doubling factor plus trample. I guess this is just a significantly better card than Bill. Like, it sometimes mattered and a little bit of a turn off to not have that full capability with Bill. Yeah. So also, like I said, I didn't play. So I was in Mexico the week Cub came out, and actually maybe it was a blessing in disguise because I didn't play at all. Like I was not gonna play Magic while I was in another country, and I think it was a blessing in disguise because I checked on GoatBots, and I'll just bring it up here, I guess. But the card was a $35 card, and I'm kind of relieved that I didn't get a play like this first week because I didn't feel the need to like spend $35 on this card anyways. So I bought it at 11. So I've been playing it this past week, and it was original. I played the list I endorsed for Eternal Weekend, granted with Bill proxying in place of Cub. But what I quickly realized was two different things. This is just better than Bill than I had anticipated. Not by much, but by more. I had a rough idea what this card would be better by, but the sequencing that is involved with doubling your counters is kind of trickier than first blush. The other thing is, what was I gonna say? This past showcase, which I didn't play, but I saw the results, and I think like I saw 5 Fury decks in the top 17, and I just think like if your deck cannot beat Ancient Tomb, it's probably not like ultra competitive. I hate to say that because I know there's some combo players who are not gonna be happy to hear that, but like I think you have to beat Ancient Tomb in the new metagame, and that's why, to me at least, Control is unplayable because it's like a 10%er. I'm exaggerating, obviously. I don't think any competitive deck is really 10% against another deck, but like let's just say for all intents and purposes, it's like at best 30% against Ancient Tomb, and that's just not a viable deck in my eyes. Control is not playable because of Ancient Tomb, and that's more than I want to talk about Ancient Tomb. But long story short, I think especially with Moonstompy as the Ancient Tomb deck that wins the mirror, I think it's important to be good against that deck. And I think a 2-mana 4/4 when it comes down is on turn 2, assuming with a fetch land, is pretty relevant because if they don't Fury that turn, this thing gets out of hand, and then the trample is like super relevant. So that's number 1. This was kind of already entering the deck but this is the mainstay now. The Saga plus Needle, whether you play 1 or 2, to me, it's kind of a must because there are certain decks why the Reliquary has a hard time connecting against these go wide decks, such as Nadu, Cradle, like Goblins, anything like that, where the graveyard hate doesn't really matter, and Talon Gates, like, they don't play removal, so it probably doesn't matter either. You need a card like Saga because you need your best card in the deck or best creature in the deck to be good in the matchup. Like, you don't want to have Wild Reliquary suddenly be less than stellar, right? Like, it's the names. If the deck is built around it, you don't want this to suddenly be a card you don't want to draw. So I think this is a must. And I know some players have issues with the sequencing involved with this card. I think if you can afford to get away with it because your metagame doesn't have Nadu, for instance, then maybe it's fine. But I just think the ultimate solution is just to get enough practice in where you know when to tutor for Saga. I'm a little reluctant to, in general, if you don't know if you're supposed to tutor for Saga, don't. You probably will cost yourself more than you gain. The other thing that is going to sound blasphemous is I went down to 3 Reclaimer, namely because I don't want to open with 2 with the new play patterns that are more aggressive. And in the same vein, this card has just been absolutely insane for me. Sylvan Safekeeper, just protecting Why the Reliquary, and now even Scythecat Cub. I just think, like, you just DGAF what your opponent does with removal, and oftentimes it's like a 2-for-1, 3-for-1 because you just blank away their removal spells, right? And they just cannot deal with these threats anymore. I move Endurance to the sideboard because I think I want my game 1 to be better against Ancient Tomb. That's the logic. And lower the curve. So it just so happens the way I map against like these Days, Wasteland / like Delver Seekers decks is I want to board in 6 cards, namely replace the Natural Order package plus Collective, and add in 6 cards, and that means I can play 4 Snuff Out plus 2 X amount of Endurance, 2 being the magic number. Nope. Alright, this is significantly better. Here's bottom of Endurance. That's the other thing. You play something against like Stifle. I don't know what they're on, but like I'm not gonna. Oop, cancel. I almost screwed up there. So what I should have done was actually play the Once Upon a Time into the Days and not reveal my Bayou, but it's probably fine. Get the threat. Ended up not mattering. If they Daze this, then I'm a little punished, I guess. The Brainstorm tells me they were holding up Stifle. I believe I'm playing against Stifle, not. That is not a card I want to see. Jesus. I hate playing against Standstill. I never know when I'm supposed to crack it. I'm just gonna like crack it right now. It's very annoying. Maybe they daze this, who knows? They can have their draw 3 then. I think the thing is like these standstill decks are built to for standstill to be asymmetrical. So I think you're, from what I understand, like at least I don't play against standstill enough. But the longer you wait, probably the worse off you are. You're better off just giving them the 3 cards early. Sometimes it's a liability when you're ahead, like they draw their standstills, but if they just stick it there, you probably can't call their bluff. Oh no. Interesting. Why would they remove the Worcester creature? That doesn't make any sense. Alright, interesting. They are not scared of Wild Reliquary? Famous last words for an opponent. It's a little awkward here to that they have mana up. Otherwise, I would be tempted to pitch cast the Endurance. I'm a little nervous about Murktide, but I don't want to pitch cast into the Swords my thing. Interesting. Sure, I guess. What's gonna be interesting here is like what they do. Does this deck usually run Murktide Regent? I feel silly if that's what they had, and then I feel like I gotta potentially shields down anyways, and then maybe I can ramp right now. This hedges against Murktide Regent. I guess I'll get my Cradle here. It's possible I'm supposed to just hold up Endurance, but I felt like that couldn't have been right. This is interesting here. The thing is, like, I feel like we just get another white and play around Spell Pierce. Like, I guess in theory they could have double days too. think they're debating whether to force or not. I mean, my hand is empty. Sure. I think what's possible is they have a hand of what is it called in their standstill, and they can't cast it. Like sometimes that happens with this deck, right? Like you fall behind on board. 4. Question now is like, do I tap? There's nothing. The problem is like, there's nothing really to tap out for. Is there a reason to play here? Probably not. Cubs become fetch lands become relevant now, so in case I draw a cub, and I'm not playing. I'm not playing Underground Mortuary. Like I'm just playing the. I'm assuming I'm not gonna run into control decks in any later round, so I'm not even gonna bother for that card. I think there's no reason to tap out here. Like, they're on a 1-turn clock. They have to do something. What's going on? 4 mana? Correct. You just... Why do they didn't kill anything? I mean, they're dead anyways, so it doesn't matter. Yes. I mean, they were dead regardless. Even they paid 2, right? Like the white's gonna kill them on the crackback. They tapped out. All right. It's been a while since I played against this kind of deck. Probably don't want endurance. I don't think we want collective, not bog either. I think this is the type of deck where I want seize because I just want to clear the way for natural order. Snuff out, probably useless. All this other stuff is probably useless. The one card that is kind of interesting is Saga. If I want to grind for some reason, I don't think so though. Because the thing is, I don't really want to board a needle against them. Safekeeper is obscene in this matchup. Granted, they do have Wrath of the Skies, but you can't beat everything, right? Like, this deck, out of control decks, Wrath of the Skies is pretty scary. Obviously, if you have Attract, so you feel good about it already. The other card that's pretty scary is Dress Down. Hey, how's it going? Hey, long time. What's your opinion on how to fix the format? Ban a bunch of stuff or just to do something like ban Nadu and Ancient 2? I think it depends what your goal is. Is your goal to make it competitive or is it to make it fun for people? Because those things are not in alignment, in my opinion. Also, not only that, what is competitive to some people it may not be to others, and same thing for fun. Like not everybody's definition of fun and competitive are also the same. And even if you take the fact, even if you're willing to take the premise that you can get a majority to agree what's fun and what's fair, balanced. Yeah, like what do you? It depends what you prioritize. My personal opinion, like I don't really care at this point. Like like I said, I took some time off from the format because January was a really rough month. But if it were me and your goal was to get more diversity in the format, uh, I've heard two arguments, right? Like one is like ban enough stuff until control is good against. The problem with that is I think if you want control to be good, my personal opinion, and this is not knocking control, Land's not dead. I've seen Lands do okay, but like if you want control to be good against, unless you're willing to ban like 30 cards, because I don't think control can be Ancient Tomb, like period of any form. I think you have to ban Tomb if that's what your goal is. But some people don't care about control. Like control is dead. Like they just don't care, right? Like that's fine. But if you want control to be good, in my opinion, is you either ban 30 cards or you ban Ancient Tomb. Because I just don't think control can compete as long as Ancient Tomb is available. Because they're never gonna, not never, but they're very unlikely to be an Ancient Tomb deck of any variety, and they're already a big dot combo. Like I think they can adjust for combo, but I don't think they can adjust enough to be Ancient Tomb. I just think a lot of the lists are just built wrong, out of control, because they just don't respect combo for some reason. And out of the three macro archetypes, aggro, control, and combo is the easiest to hate out, and I don't get why they just don't do that. That is part of the problem. Ocean Infinity. For a while, they could play like counterbalance lock, right? But I think for control to be good, also they have to have some kind of fast either lock or fast win, and they don't have either. I think if your format is to, I think if your goal is to have the format be fun, I've heard people hate playing against Nadu. I think Nadu has a moon problem personally, but that would be a potential ban. I not for balance reasons, but just people don't like playing against that kind of card. Keep. Yeah, people don't like playing against. People don't like playing against Naru. Even though the numbers say that it struggles against Moonstompy in particular. I think here we just run this out. If they swords, they swords. Actually, maybe I should have run the noble. Standstill again. Or ugh, I hate that card. Michael Spawn being a card people talk about, I think is laughable personally. I think is laughable. You're talking about 6-drop. I know it's not really a 6-drop. I know there's like that argument, but like I think it's to me laughable. Entomb I'm okay with. I think that card is gonna cause future problems. Personally, just like I think Tomb is gonna cause future problems. Oops, I messed up. I was supposed to. I was supposed to play this higher, but I screwed up. I screwed up. The thing, Harry, though, is I just don't think you can be fair in Legacy anymore. Like everything, I think, like the way to win in Legacy is fast clock plus disruption, and I don't think you can be fully fair if that makes sense. I'm gonna cost myself now because I did not fetch correctly. Okay, I guess it wouldn't have mattered. I mean, yeah, I guess you can say that's an issue. The problem is, like, are you really gonna be willing to ban like 30 cards? Like maybe that's okay. Like, I think this probably. So, like, for what I mean by that is, like, I think Legacy is what Vintage used to be, where you have to have a fast clock. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to have a combo, but it oftentimes means many of the successful decks will have a combo, if that makes sense. Another way to have a fast clock is something like Sensei's Divine Type plus Counterbalance. You have a fast, like, lock piece. A deck that currently right now that's competitive that does not have a combo kill is like any of these Ancient Tomb decks, because it's almost like you're curving out on what turns 1 through 4. That's like the combo itself, right? The combo is threat, 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 threat. Right? You're stringing together 4 turns of threats. And usually control can't beat that. And yeah, not even threats, but like undercosted threats because of Ancient Tomb, and to a lesser extent like City of Traders and whatever else fast mana. Ring, I think fundamentally, like, I wouldn't mind a ban just for flavor reasons or whatnot, but like Thoracle, I think that card probably was egregious before. I think it's very easily beat now. I just think people don't respect it is part of the problem. I like, and maybe this is just a biased viewpoint. I just think a lot of pet decks aren't competitive, and if the goal is to make those pet decks competitive again, I just think you probably have to ban like 30, 40 cards. And I mean, I don't care. I just think that would be the solution. But that might not be what people want to hear, right? Like, you have to like probably ban 6 cards from Modern Horizons 3, like 4 or 5 cards from Modern Horizons 2, and maybe 30 or 40 is exaggerated, but like I can see 20 being realistic. I mean, for what it's worth, I think the players who play low Maverick, DNT, and Lands, maybe not Lands, but the other 3, will probably enjoy like the play patterns of this deck. But again, not everybody wants to play Cradle or spend money on Cradle. So like I get that. It's just like, if you want to achieve your goal, I just, me personally, and maybe I'm just cynical, because I remember people thought, oh, ban Grief. I mean, not that I had a problem with the ban Grief. I thought that was a better ban than, say, Bowmasters, but I've heard the argument like, oh, Grief ban is going to bring back Control, and in my mind, it's like, I don't think Control is remotely close to being playable, but, and not, Grief is not the answer, not the reason that was held back, per se. Alright, I'm a little bit nervous about Wrath the Skies here. They like pondered and did nothing. Like it kind of feels like Wrath the Skies coming out next turn. Yeah, let's just pass. No, they haven't done anything yet, right? Should be it here. Wrath of the Skies. Supreme. Alright. Alright, I saw the Supreme verdict coming. I'm gonna like fake him on Bowmaster. Not that I am, but like. This might draw up force. Who knows? This card's obscene against this kind of deck. Alright, I feel pretty good about my board state here. Again, I'm not playing a second Talon Gates because I don't expect to play against control in like the top 8. But this is a match where I would want second Talon Gates. Sure. I wonder if I'm going to be able to do a trick. Yes, nice. So they don't get the draw either. Alright. Easy 2-0. It's a little bit scary in that matchup. You have to be like aggressive and patient at the same time, and kind of like this matchup was a lot by feel. What's the strongest card against white? Baleful Strix? No, because the white ability attacking isn't pretty important, and I'm not gonna lie, Baleful Strix is annoying. I wouldn't say it's the strongest card. In general, against like a green deck, I don't really want to play against Opposition Agent. That's probably like one of the stronger cards. A little bit narrow, obviously a 3-drop. Dress Down is like decent. I mentioned this before. If you can burn their first Talon Gates, like some people are playing 2 for what it's worth, so I'm like on the riskier side, I guess. If they're playing 2, you just probably don't even rely on sweepers. But I would say Dress Down, Opposition Agent, Cursed Totem is like very strong. Pithing Needle, those to me are like better than Baleful Strix. Although Baleful Strix is not bad. Baleful Strix stops the aggro portion, so like a lot of it depends on your deck and whatnot. And white is the strongest creature in this deck by a pretty wide margin. I always get confused when people like force the Reclaimer, force recently the Cub. That's what I heard at least. And just like to me, it's kind of nonsense, right? Like where you have a white on the stack. Like this literally in any fair matchup. Right? People talk about Michael Spawn. Any fair matchup, this takes over the game. Like it's if you untap with white, it's almost always game. Assuming you don't mess up, right? Like yeah, that can happen. I'm not gonna lie, that can happen. But like I said, Strix is not bad. But if you really want, it depends on the deck. But like some of the things that I've found to be very good, besides just combo killing me, is obviously Agent is like very good against our deck and any green deck. Cursed Totem, we've seen some splash damage, but then that's like less effective now because of Cat. Thank you for the sub, Harry. Appreciate it. 28 month streak. Dang. I'm very. What's the word I'm looking for? Okay, do we want a Reclaimer here, or do I want another land? I feel like we just like get the Reclaimer. We 2 for Cradle if need be. I don't know what they're on, but like there's a decent chance we're gonna draw a second land. I mean, a third land. Thank you for the sub, Harry. And actually, since this is my first stream back in about a month and a half, let me PM you a promo code. What is going on? Why did they main phase brainstorm turn 1? Might be getting comboed out here. Let me PM you a promo code. For being the first sub of the new year, since my last stream was last year. Alright, this is for 120 play points, Harry, and, you know, appreciate your, let's see, Whisper. There we go. Alright, enjoy, Harry. I just sent it to you on via Twitch. I don't know what my opponent's playing, but, like, anytime. Alright, I don't want to just, like, randomly get days here. This is a question that gets asked, like, oh, are you gonna play this in 2 days or get the extra trigger? To me, I would rather not get it dazed. I think we just do that. They're probably gonna kill it, but that's okay. See, if they daze this, then I feel a lot better about my play here, right? Like, that I didn't get the way I see it is, if they daze a 1s drop, it's pretty even because it's the equivalent of ramping on mana dork, right? You're up 1 mana and you trade even on cards. If they daze a 2 drop, it's like I'm giving a Lotus Petal. If I'm gonna play not as much because they're behind on tempo, if they're on the play, then it's almost like giving them a free Lotus Petal. But if you get a 3 drop dazed, that is like giving them a Dark Ritual. And so that's like dangerous territory, right? And if they're on the play, and especially it's turn 2 there, where they're probably not going to hit another land drop anyways, that's almost like giving them a Lotus if they daze your 3 drop. So I think the way I build the deck now is I think efficiency is king, and alright, the question here is, I feel like they're probably gonna bolt in response. Well, actually, if they had, they would have done it. Let's see. Or they misplayed, right? Cause what if I played a fetch, right? I don't think there's a world we don't jam here. I can get extra damage, but then I'm being greedy because they bolt, and then suddenly I'm playing, like, I'm down a mana. Yeah, let's do this. Let's not get greedy. They probably don't have it, but people do weird things sometimes. Once upon a time, Green Sun Zenith, land, and then we have a creature, like, probably the Safekeeper, I have to imagine. It's like protect our board. It might be over. I don't know what our opponent is doing, but Brainstorm turn 1 and they haven't killed me yet is kind of suspect. Alright, what is our opponent possibly on? What is our... I feel like they're on Delver. Like they could be on Sing and Show, I guess. It's hard to gauge. What did we see? They went Daze my turn 1. Actually, they ponder. They brainstorm on 1. Volcanic on 2 and do nothing. Feels like Sneak and Show? No, but no, that doesn't make any sense because Sneak and Show can beat an Atraxa. It's tough. I don't know what they're on. I guess when in doubt, maybe don't. No, they conceded to an Atraxa, and then they had they conceded to the Sylvan Safekeeper. I feel like they're on a tempo deck. Let's just hedge that way. Strange that they brainstorm. I don't know why. Maybe they didn't want to get Bowmasters. That's the only logic I can think of. But they have any removal. That's like I said, it's like kind of strange. It could completely backfire on me. We'll see. I'm not gonna guess that. I'm gonna put them on tempo, or I hate to say tempo because I think all the competitive decks have all tempo elements now, but it's neither here nor there, I guess. Oh shoot. They might be on, unfortunately, Sneak and Show. That's the other deck I would put them on, based on what I saw. The thing that's like throwing me off is the Brainstorm turn 1 and the Daze into nothing, into Concede into Atraxa. Like, I feel like if you're Sneak and Show, you don't really concede to Atraxa because I think they can also beat it, but I don't know. Maybe they thought it was over because I had the White and the Reclaimer too. I'm not the White, sorry, the Cub and the Reclaimer as well. I'm trying to like think from their perspective what would cause an early concession. It does, it does. So I'm ready to just, you know, get got here. I'm ready to get got here by Sneak and Show. The good thing is my hand, I drew the cards that are like decent against Sneak and Show too. Like that are not the sideboard cards. So maybe it's not all hope is lost. Alright, is there any reason to ramp here? I think probably, because otherwise I'm pretty tied up on mana next turn. I think I'm gonna have to assume that tempo is gonna matter this game, so let's just ramp. And they Blood Moon or whatever me, then it's fine. If they want to Spell Pierce this, that's fine too. Or Fluster it. When in doubt, if you don't know what your opponent's, it's always better to just be proactive. And in this case, that makes I just want to generate as much mana as I can turn 3. One thing that is good or bad, depending on what you enjoy about this new iteration with Cub, is, and this is something I underestimated a little bit when I tested it with Bill in his place. Ooh, Eureka Tell maybe? The sequencing to turn on the doubling of counters is a little bit harder than I took into account. So if sequencing is not your thing, like I played it now about a week. I think after the first few leagues, if sequencing is natural for you, it's not a big deal. You get it pretty quickly. But if it's not, I can see you losing games because of that. Speaking of the devil. Alright. So, interesting. Let's do it this way. Then I can attack if need be. What are they pitching here? Force of Will, pitching Force of Will, okay. Get the best creature on the deck. That was a bait spell. They daze us, so be it. I still don't know what my opponent's doing. I'm assuming some kind of combo deck. Like, probably show and tell. Oh, interesting. I definitely did not have that on my radar. I was expecting the Green Sun to get dazed, but this is okay. Like, I don't mind that. If anything, I'm kind of happy. One thing I will say that Cub has done, even in the small sample size, is because of the doubling, which is better than Bill, and the trample, which especially is better than Bill, the clock is just so much faster, which is relevant against, like, in particular, Moon Stomp and things like that. Not to mention just any fair matchup. Against unfair matchup, I don't love it, but that slot is typically boarded out anyways, so there's no real loss per se. Alright, let's see what's going on here. We haven't seen much from our opponent. What is gonna happen here? Oh, red. Interesting. Oops, sorry. What in the world? I mean, interesting. What am I gonna pitch here? I guess the Bayou. I'll just bog them. I think they're on a tempo deck. Like, based on everything I've seen so far. I guess I'll bog them. Why they did that then is beyond me. I'm not really sure what the hell is going on. Okay. Interesting. It's gotta be a fair deck by now, right? I think this is probably the slam. If they are a fair deck, which I believe they are now, this probably slams the door. This game. This card is no joke. Like, you protect the best creature in the deck and potentially in Legacy, and like the games just become about just protect the queen, right? It's almost like a Delver deck now. My Mount Rushmore of Modern Horizons 3 is it in terms of power level. Probably Fleshraker 1, White 2, Nadu 3, Psychic Frog 4. In terms of just like power level. But in some order, I think most people agree that's the big four from Modern Horizons 3. Obviously, Psychic Frog is banned because it was in the deck that is most played slash quote unquote best. But I don't, from a power perspective, I think it's actually slightly lower than the others. You have three hybrid cards: two blue, two green, two black, and then one colorless. Three hybrid cards, sorry. I said two. My guess was right. It didn't feel like my opponent played optimally, but you don't pick your. Yeah. Hey Lawrence, how's it going? I hope you've been doing well. Except this time, Delver is like kind of underpowered compared to the rest of the format, right? Like I think Reanimator is kind of taking its place. All right, we're 2-0-2-0. I'm gonna use a restroom real quick. Yeah, sure. Delver's like all kinds of flavors now, but yeah, it tempo in the abstract. Yeah, for sure. I'll bring up my deck again. I don't know what the heck's going on. I think I have to like reinstall or something. But this is the real deal, by the way. It's one of the soft spots about this deck was like if your opponent has no answer for white and you don't have Safekeeper to protect, sometimes it can flood out. But now you just have an extra four like relevant two drops that you just like slam on turn two, and it actually makes Safekeeper even better, which is why the split used to be four claimer two Safekeeper. Now I'm at 3-3 because I just want to like slam a game ending two drop. This is not game ending against more decks, but it does cover some of the holes of Reclaimer of Reliquary, namely against something like Fleshraker, you can connect because of the trample. This card can sometimes struggle against the go wide strategies, but better against the more linear like graveyard decks or the tempo in the abstract, right? All right, I'm gonna use the restroom and be right back. All right, I'm back. What was I gonna say? Oh, one thing I wanted to touch on was if you take a close look at my mana base, I think most people think I'm like overly conservative with the mana base. Like no, very little frills here. The version, the mana base I'm playing today, only really two targets, right? Like one Talon Gates, one Bog. I don't want to draw these like things that make my starting hands non-functional. I actually think a lot of the legacy decks are so greedy with their mana bases, and I think like if you ask me, I think pretty much every legacy mana base is misbuilt. Like every single deck, if you ask me, and like they're either like they either have not enough fetchables. So not no, sorry, excuse me. They have too many fetchables and not enough fetch lands, which I think are broken, or they're just not playing straight up enough lands. Man, dead card and two situational cards here. Like I think to me, just play the best cards, right? Like more fetch lands, lower number of fetchables, and if you can cast your spells on time, you probably win. I think we mulligan, unfortunately, because of this collective move. Yeah, I'm along those lines, Lawrence. You cast your spells, you probably win, and that's why I play what I think most people would call an ultra conservative, and a lot of the other Cradle players, I think probably feel this way, but like that I'm overly conservative with my mana base, but I just want to cast my spells on time and then win the game. I'm not even playing Underground Mortuary anymore, which was really good for me when I played it. The problem is I just want turns 1, 2, 3, like a ancient tomb deck, right? I'm just curving out. If I stick a threat every turn, they lose the game. Yeah, that's good, Lawrence. I think you're ahead of the curve in that. And I actually like. I wasn't always this way too. Not that I was like greedy per se. It's just like my land count could have been higher. I just didn't realize it. If that makes sense. Like, I want to cast my free spells, aka Snuff Out, on time, and I think if I do, they lose the game. Okay, they're just what's going on here? I used to have a layer of a Hydra too, but I think it's less necessary now with Cub. And the reason why I played layer was because it had the lowest opportunity cost. But even then, maybe it's like. Yeah. I think I used to play two, and then I went to one, and then I went to none. Well, partially because Talon Gates got printed too. Yeah, I mean, I think people just don't understand the value of tempo, right? Like you, it's why the control players have such a hard time against Ancient Tomb is because they're just literally threat after threat, and they just cannot keep up. Okay, let's do it probably this way. I don't think they're gonna double daze me, right? I'm gonna get the extra counter here. All right. They let the Reclaimer go, which is interesting. I don't think I'm gonna target anything. Uh, I can't protect the cat anymore, but they let the Reclaimer go. I feel like they would have fetched. They would have fatal pushed the Reclaimer, but I could be wrong. Maybe they just don't respect it. That's what I've heard too, Lawrence. I don't know how true that is, but I have heard the same thing. Like control players, the reputation is they're obsessed with beating other control players because they think like that's like the ultimate higher being or whatever, right? Something like I heard along those lines. Like if you are the control king or queen, then you like supersede everybody else. I heard some craziness like that. I might regret not putting. That is what I've heard. Yeah, I back to the days of miracles and whatnot. But like, what's gonna happen here? They kill the Cub, so be it. I feel like they would have already. Like they can respond to the. Sure. Interesting. They have 4 cards. Is there any reason to play into Days here? Probably not. I feel like I'm ahead. I can guard against Reanimators still. I can wait till 1 turn, I think. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, so at 4 mana, I don't think there's a reason to lose to Days randomly here. Also, the way I built the deck is like almost like a ancient tomb deck. Like you're you're trying to just spend all your mana every turn, anyways. Entirely possible. Although I will give credit to the Zoomers. Uh, I think newer players nowadays, at least some of the ones I've seen, at least, I think they are further along, and I think that's just any profession, right? Whether that be sports, academia, whatever. I think naturally people get smarter over time. Okay, what's going on here? This is the old gameplay from Glimpse, right? You just ramp by rotating your lands for arbor. Uh oh. There. Cool. I think we just like continue to grow this thing. Potentially. Oh. Better lucky than good. The thing about the fetch land there is like, I guess. Well, we have Safekeeper anyways. But point taken. I I do fetch for I do rotate for fetch land a lot more now than I did prior. This is just gonna be comical now. Yeah, that's fair. That is fair. I think I just pass and hold a bog. This is an obscene card. So one of the things, like I said before, was like sometimes you just don't draw. All right. It's possible. I think we are pretty ahead. Maybe we just play defensively. I think no. I think you definitely have a point. And I think if I care enough, maybe just hold the natural order. But with Safekeeper there, I would probably just don't lose under any circumstance outside of like something crazy like double Entomb, double reanimation spell. Like that's probably the only way we lose, to be honest. And I'm not even sure like they are on that. They have Bowmaster's main. I think they're probably the tempo version. Actually, I don't know. No, for sure. No, I totally buy that. And I think if I thought about it more in a setting I cared about, maybe I arrived at that conclusion as well. I definitely see the merit in what you're saying, and I don't know if you still play or not, Lawrence. I appreciate the feedback, but if you're interested, I can DM you a promo code for 120 play points for your feedback. Just your engagement in general in this chat right now. All right, I think we probably just bored out the natural order package here. I definitely like endurance. Question here is like, oops, that's not supposed to come out. Question here is like, what do I keep in? What comes out? I just maybe just 2 seizes and just like play as it hedge towards reanimate because that's probably the more coin flippy matchup. I think we're probably pretty favored if they're on the tempo version, and if we confirm that in game 2, we adjust accordingly. Game 3. Let's play 4 TS. I don't like TS too much because they're like a wasteland deck too, and in general, the old play patterns used to be like turn 1 with Claimer, just hold up. I just think now you just have to go turn 1 Dork. It's just the tempo is too huge, right? Yeah, they do play Wasteland. They do play Wasteland. I think here, since we have 2 ignoble, I'll lead with 1. Entomb. Sure. Yeah, it is pretty gross. It is pretty gross. I think what I'm gonna do here is there is a chance I get mana screwed here, but maybe that'd be a reason to lead with the Noble turn 1. So I'm gonna play into Wasteland here in case they hit my Dork because I want to be able to cast white. Yeah, Reanimator's been on Wasteland for a while. At least the blue versions. The red versions, no. I think in hindsight, I would go turn 1 Noble, still off of basic, and then if they kill it, then it's better for me because turn 2 I can go double ignoble. Here, there's like a fail rate of like losing to something like Bowmasters plus Wasteland. I can't cast my white now, but hopefully we don't get that unlucky. Hey, Kern, how's it going? We are 2-0. Hopefully we can go for 3-0 here. We're up a game. Sure. Didn't end up mattering because they would have dazed the second Hierarch anyways. Hopefully we can bring this new do this new list some justice, right? I think actually shout out to Kern here, who is very high on the cat, right? Shout out to Karen here. Oh, nice. I have not looked at it yet because I've been streaming, but I'll take a look. I'll take a look, see. Maybe they reanimate here. And what do we take here? Probably there's 2 fatal pushes. I guess the brainstorm. All right. Ooh, perfect. Smells like Harbinger is potentially coming. Let's just play around it. I know, right? Like we're just so threat dense. I love it. Like before things get dicey if this doesn't stick around, right? Why Sun for Reclaimer? I think we're slamming white no matter what, right? Like this is the best creature in the deck by a lot. Oof, Jesus. All right, I'll take it. I actually think they kind of have to. Is my personal opinion. I'm probably in the minority. I feel like both the birds still applies to us, and actually, a lot of the Nadu Cradle players I know benefit because it just seems like 98% of the Legacy community doesn't know they're supposed to force the turn one dork. I don't. It's crazy to me that that's the case, but like both the bird like I see a lot of people lose the Nado Cradle deck, and it's because they're holding force in hand, and when their opponent has like Allosaur Shepherd or something, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like the heuristic is bolt the bird, but then you don't have removal, but you have force, so you should be forcing the bird, right? But that's neither here nor there. Ugh, that's not what I want to see. Heck yeah. I think if you're a control deck, that might be accurate, but I don't feel that's correct. If I don't feel that's correct if you're a tempo deck, but it's just tough. This deck is like super favor against tempo. I think you just maybe just lose regardless. Just pass. Like I just feel like you can't win a longer game anyway, so you just have to hope that that plan matters. Um, Question here is like, do I bother to trade? Like there's a decent. Yeah, I think I have to. Yeah, I can see. I can buy that. I just think if we untap with this, we'll probably win. So I just don't. I just eat it for a turn if that makes sense. Ugh, that's annoying. Oh, that's hell. That's really good though. What am I doing here? Probably bash. I would have to imagine. I'm gonna chump with the Arbor. It's gonna be annoying if I have to trade with a Bargoyf. Like, I don't. I'm not gonna. Like my creatures are better than theirs. Um. Yeah, that's fair. That is fair. again, I'm not like super. Hey, Lisa, how's it going? I'm not like super tight on the exact thing, but thank you for pointing that out. Okay. I'm gonna upkeep the endurance here. Sure. In case they want to brainstorm, like I waste their mana on upkeep, like to try to dig for the days or something like that. Oh, that's even better. So my logic here was they're gonna borrower, and then if I do it main phase here, they can brainstorm a response and then dig for days. I'd rather waste their mana on upkeep. Here it's not gonna matter. I might as well do it while they're tapped out. Without that Entomb, I'm not casting that Endurance until the end to surprise them. Did I target them? I think I did, right? I just like want to fade. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. If they drop days, then I guess it doesn't matter. So you have a point. No, you're right. I'm thinking like days, but if they have days, they can't reanimate. So that's fair. I'm not just tunnel vision to that heuristic. I'll just do it while they're tapped out. No, also not even reanimate. It's just I just don't want this getting days in general because I want to pitch the endurance to like strand the Bargoyf, and then I'm gonna counter it by attacking. Yeah, that's fair. My logic here, I guess it doesn't matter, right? Like they could gain 3. You just don't block the bar, and then yeah, this should be lethal. That's fair. Yeah, again, good thing Lawrence is here. Normally Mott's is here. My combat map is not the best, but I'm glad Lawrence is here to point it out. If I can, scrape by without messing up the combat math, imagine what you could do for anybody who's good at limited, right? All right, we are, on a little bit of a heater. Yeah, they have to attack with the bar because it doesn't block anyways. And I keep forgetting about bar, to be honest. And yeah, I guess at that point they had to leave Goyf on defense because the white is clocking them faster. Yeah, I think the deck is just really good. Like every time the deck has like hit another power level increase, outside of the outlier that is like Wily Reliquary, it's also correlated with just like also Cub just having more threats is pretty important. No, for sure, Lawrence. I think you are right there because I don't think they can afford attack because the wider the Reliquaries, it's just gonna plus the what's it called? The Cub is just too much damage, right? So they have to play defense. It gets blown out by removal though, for what it's worth. I am on 11 fetch lands. Like just completely linearize the deck, right? Like don't get cute. Play the cleanest list possible. I only have 2 targets, and I think they're both a must. Like you can't leave home without Bog, and I think you cannot leave home with at least the first copy of Talent Gates. Most people are playing 2. I think you can get away with 1, and not even playing Lair anymore. Just like straight up clean mana base, 11 fetch lands, the minimum number of fetchables, which is 4, really 6 if you count the 2 arbors, and then protect the queen, right? And then the endurance 2, the other 2 to the sideboard, clean mapping. You have 4 against tempo coming in. Yeah, no, that's fair. All right, two more. Hopefully, we get that 5-0 on stream. We're at minimum going to be positive for tonight, so we'll see. Really, because I haven't played in a month and a half, I want to get this stream out so that I know some people are struggling with because even more so the decision tree is really wide now because you have to figure out what to target. Now, if combat math is not your strength, and I know it's not mine, but I know some players like ask me, "Oh, what do you target with Cub?" And my answer is just it kind of depends, to be honest. We're playing against Everin here, who I think plays a lot of Stifle Knob, but so the thing about this hand is you have one kind of like dead card, two dead cards. I think we just mull. Ugh, this is worse. Alright, keep. I think we just do that. Possible I should have kept the first hand. Just felt like it was kind of mediocre. Yeah, exactly. It really depends. I don't like to give too many rules for like what to do because I find that like I don't like it when players memorize. When this deck is very much about like board states can be very different. And fetch lands are ooh, actually I'm gonna hope to draw another threat or no. I think it's just too good not to ramp. I was like debating whether to like go reclaim on two. It just feels too weak though. Like we just have to hope we draw well. All right, sequencing here matters. Lead with Safekeeper. Yeah. I think especially more so than ever as Legacy becomes more board centric. Um, okay. I think we're gonna go Bayou here. Yeah, I just think like you shouldn't try to tunnel vision too much and just like have your brain on, if that makes sense, during a match and just like not focus on memorizing. Especially like I said, as Legacy becomes more and more board centric. Yeah. I think that's one thing I benefited from just this iteration and how this deck has developed over time. It's made me a better player, right? As the deck has become like I wouldn't call it a mid-range deck per se, but like it has a lot of elements of different archetypes. So there's a very much a tempo game plan now. There's obviously the natural order kill. There's like sometimes you play like a mid-range game, like where you're just slightly bigger than Delver. It kind of depends on the matchup. Sometimes you're a prison deck. Might be for flooding out a little bit though, which was my concern, right? About when I ramped Beanstalk, maybe. Ooh. That is gonna be annoying. I actually didn't play Bowmasters. Well, that's not true. I started out with like 2 copies, and then by the end of the Fiend Artisan or middle of the Fiend Artisan era, I was down to 0. And like for instance, Cass when she got the made the top 8 of Eternal Weekend using more or less my Saturday 5. Like that list had I think 1 Bowmasters, if any. Maybe I think it might have been 1. I don't remember. But I just think like you just streamline this deck. Bowmasters doesn't really fit the game plan in my opinion, and then yeah, that's probably fair. I think you just want to execute your game plan, and even though the deck can be a mid-range deck, you still want to be proactive at the end of the day. I'm probably gonna lose this game because I'm on a 5, but what can you do? I'm trying to remember. Okay, we had a Once Upon a Time and a Talon Gates, so like 2 dead-ish cards. And I think 1 card was a Safekeeper too. Yeah, I don't hate my mulligan there. I think it's probably fine what I did. It just didn't work out because I had to mull the 6. Thoughtseize? Nope. Nice. Okay. I feel like they have removal, but but is the trigger on a hierarch gonna matter? Maybe. All right. I wonder if we just like double fetch here and just like grow this to a 3/4. They have wasteland, so there's no point of. But they have the loam. I mean. I'm probably dead, if I'm being honest. Did they keep 7? They did. So yeah, I'm probably just dead because I started the game down 2 cards. Again, the opening 7 was a Safekeeper with nothing to protect, a Talon Gates, and 2 Once Upon a Time, so not particularly great. One thing that is a little bit more taxing now is before you could just play out all your lands or hold the last land. Now, like, you really have to think about how you want to save your fetch lands because of top deck Cub. I know one complaint about this deck is I know people have not liked that I said it does require pretty tight play. They're holding up force, so let's see what we're gonna bash and see what they do. I wonder if we just slam Cub here anyways. Let's see what they did recently. They activated, play Polluted Delta, and pass. They brainstormed. It kind of... I don't think so. We play the Cub here, and it probably gets forced. What's the downside? If they don't force, they've got to have removal, right? Like... It's probably going to get forced here. But I guess... So the reason to hold here is if we know they have force, then you can waste their card, right? By just like not doing anything. The problem is I'm not sure the Hierarch is going to get there in time if we don't play aggressively. Alright, that's not bad. Sure. I have to waste removal on that. That's pretty good. I think while force is down, I'm going to main phase endurance here. Like I said, the reason to not play Cub there is because we assume that they have force, and then we just don't want to screw up their mana. We bash in here. If we somehow steal this game, oh my god. Again, underneath force. On a Mortal 5. Okay. Is the endurance going to go the distance? That Hierarch actually did a lot of work. Oh, they're going to... Okay. That's annoying. That is annoying. They probably hit the Arbor. I don't think they hate the Hierarch. Maybe they do. If they have a Wasteland for the Arbor. Yeah, sure. They got a block. We're on F6, they know our hand. Sure. I think I main phase here in case they draw force. Um, Another interesting thing here is, do we run the hierarch into days? Probably. Save this for the cub. I gotta remember this can't block. Jesus. My thing froze. It is a small goif, I know, right? Probably block with the... Ooh, I'll take that. I'll take that. That card is potentially annoying right now. The thing is, like, this can run away with the game, which is what I'm a little afraid of. If they draw Brainstorm, then I get screwed, but... Yeah, I wish to, but to be fair, like, we moved a 5, which is kind of unfortunate. And, like, we're right in this game. They're gonna attack, we're gonna block. We hope they don't have the Brainstorm. They're gonna draw in response. I think they have no choice. Okay, Chameo down. Oh, wow. Clutch. Clutch, clutch, clutch. I did not think I was winning that game after the mode of 5. Alright, I think here we just boarded the endurances. They're like a tempo-y bug deck. And we don't want seizes against their wastelands. There's no real targets for Snuff Out. I think we just bore out the hoof. We just don't think they can beat Atraxa. I like deliberated for a long time, like whether I wanted to run the Cub into the Force. I think that's the one decision I may have regretted. Everything else, I felt like we played pretty clean there. My concern was like, I did not think Hierarch was going to go to the distance, which is why I wanted to play Cub. Because if for some reason, well, it probably was correct actually now that I think about it, because they had no pressure, right? Maybe we just hold Cub there. Because they were representing Force, and then we forced them to tap out, pun not intended. We forced them to tap out, and then they spend another card, right? Potentially, since we're on mode 5. I just felt like the rest of the 5 was so anemic. Like, we just have to hope we draw well. like to me, this deck is all about tempo, right? And I just felt like we just had to hope we draw well, and because we had no pressure with the other five, like turn one Reclaimer, but without a Cradle, so I'm like not really doing much turn two, right? Now maybe I don't know what my opponent is on. Maybe we just assume they're on a slower deck, and then we can say the green sun for a payoff. But I think when in doubt, I think Dork is right most of the time. Not always, but most of the time. Yeah, no, that's fair. I definitely see the argument. This is a way better seven, by the way. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Thoughtseize, maybe. Yep. They probably take the green sun. Maybe they take the I don't know. Maybe they take the white. If they have the wasteland, maybe they take the green sun. Maybe they take the green sun regardless. To be honest, this deck looks very different with and without turn one ramp, which is why I played the full 12. Right, 8 hierarchs plus 4 green sun. This is a tough decision for my opponent, by the way. It's a very threat dense hand. You take the Cub. Actually, I'm kind of surprised by that. Maybe they want me to fetch Bayou so they can force my green sun in 2 days. It's into Wasteland. That's the only argument. Like I'm like priced into Bayou here because of the white. Ooh, that's kind of scary. Ugh. They're gonna waste me, I think. Sure. What I really wanted to happen there was for them to daze and then I pay with endurance to tap the Cradle, then I get value out of the second natural order. Yeah, no waste there is kind of crazy. Jesus. I think I have to. I need the lands. Yeah, that would be my play. Drawing the wrong part of my deck here. My opening hand was good, but the problem it was a little susceptible to something like this. Yeah, I thought about it. You're talking about the endurance play white and just hope they don't have an answer. Definitely thought about it. Ugh, Jesus. Okay, I think we're just lost now. Yeah, for sure. Like, Okay, we're just dead. The thing is, like, I don't know if they boarded out dazes. Like, I don't know how he boards. So like, it would suck to lose the days there, but maybe I just have to hope. Like, white sticks and it just takes over the game. Now I'm just dead. This is a hand where, like, if I was on the play, I think the game looks very different. But definitely some merit to the Hail Mary. Like, when you're up against the wall there, just like not hitting land drops, probably best play is to, like Lawrence mentioned, right? Alright, we're just dead here. Do I do anything different based on what I just saw? I mean, the only thing I can think of is, like, maybe Saga is another land, but that's kind of whatever. Like, something like that. Sure, let's try it. Like, it's not like Endurance is, like, fantastic in this matchup. Especially the way that second game played out there. Game plan, I just want to stick one of these and win, right? This less so, this more so. Sure. I cannot believe I won that game one. I was fully expecting to lose that game after the mode of 5. I think, yeah, I think it was debatable that one turn, and then whether to, or what are we doing here? Do we go turn 1 Dork, or do we take the Cradle? We probably will hit another land, right? And just go like, yeah, let's get the Dork. Actually, no, that's not true. Let's get the Cradle. I just think too explosive not to play. Like, what am I doing? This is a Cradle deck. Cage, alright. Slightly punished. Okay. Cage here is kind of annoying. Not gonna lie. I want them to waste my Bayou. I don't care about that card. It's slow. Alright, cool. Reclaimer's online now. We reclaiming for you're oh you talk no I think I want to hold reclaimer up because of the wasteland, right? Like we have talent gates up. The thing is, like putting on reclaimer, like the counters, I don't think it matters that much. I mean, it could down the road. The problem is these bowmasters, right, can just like chump block. So I just want to establish a clock. Now it could be flawed, but my logic is reclaimer can protect Cub anyways because of talent gates. So they have to burn two removal spells potentially. Now they get waste and removal in spots, but like then we get their wasteland for free, right? Could be, yeah, could be. I don't think we need to do anything here. So the interesting thing here now is I don't think they realize this has trample. Yeah, and then I'm holding up everything right now. Yep. Nice. All right. One more. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. That was Reclaimer. I've long heard people say Reclaimer is no longer a good enough card in Legacy just because of Modern Horizons 3. Uh, Reclaimer's just doing work there. It's just like it's a mother of runes, right? All right, I'll be right back. Oops, I don't know why it's doing this. My thing is bugged, obviously. All right, see you, Lawrence. All right, we got one more. Hopefully, we can pull out that 5-0, right? Yeah, Cub is quite a good card. Might be the second best creature in the deck now. As much as that pains me to say. I think power level wise, it's probably like one, maybe two. This is like kind of hard to judge because it kind of can only go in certain decks, on ours being one of them. I still have a soft spot for Reclaimer, but the problem is like curve, right? Like turn one, I want to go dork. Turn two, I want to go white. So really, this is like a turn two play. Ideally, turn one dork, turn two white plus Reclaimer. They kill the white, we have the Reclaimer active. That's kind of where I see Reclaimer fitting in. Like it's you can't. The days of like turn one Reclaimer are probably gone, to be honest. Outside of Reanimator. All right, let's see if we can close here. Hey, Nigo, how's it going? Hopefully, I can, run the 5-0 tonight. We're 4-0 at the moment. We dropped one game last round, but otherwise, I forgot what we played against, to be honest. Some control deck, some Delver deck that didn't seem like they played optimally, like if I'm being frank. I don't remember. Oh, a Standstill deck. Just not very competitive. I think the list feels good. I like the change I made. So the previous list I tested, that I went undefeated, but got kind of lucky, to be honest. Like I mulligan a bunch. I mulliganed a bunch because I was playing basic swamp, but I cut that for the 11th fetch. I don't know why you would cut creatures in Ego, but I mean, it's your call at the end of the day. Keep this person always plays Mystic Forge, and I have the turn two play. Hopefully that gets there. Other Reclaimer, you missed the last match. I'm not sure. Inigo Reclaimer was very good, and I rather have a crop rotation every turn than one crop rotation. Not to mention we're a creature deck, and I just hate the idea of not being able to. I want to cast. I want to spend 1 mana on turn one, 3 mana on turn two, and 5 mana or more on turn three. Like I want to just like spend all my mana, and I don't think crop rotation really does that. All right, I guess we just take the land. I probably should just fetch basic just in case. Like, you never know. But this person always plays Mystic Forge. I guess they could have Wasteland in theory. Don't kill me this turn, please. I'm praying my opponent doesn't kill me this turn. That's not what I want to see. Again, like I said, my Mount Rushmore, this is number one. This is the most broken card, I think, from Modern Horizons 3, creature-wise. It's really dumb. Okay. thank God I'm alive still. Alright, we have to pray. I mean, we're gonna do what we can. I don't like this matchup game one. Even post-board, I don't love it. It used to be so much better before before they played Fleshraker and Kozilek's come out, the Eldrazi cards. Because they were just dead to collective. Now they can actually beat it pretty easily. Okay, they probably just answer the collective right now. Not. I just jinxed myself. Paying cost must yeah. Yep, this matchup is very annoying. I miss those days where you just stick a collective and this kind of deck scoops. You can get an Atraxa. The problem is, like, does it do anything? Like, we could just be dead is the problem. But I guess if we Atraxa and we don't kill them, that gives them even more turns. So maybe the line here is just like, okay, we get Atraxa. Atraxa's on board. The problem is that gives them at least 2 more turns. I think we just wait and just hope that they don't kill us this turn. Normally I would get Atraxa. I just don't think we have 2 turns is the problem. Or 3 turns, whatever it is. Yeah, Atraxa gives them at least 2 turns. I don't think we have it. We just hope not to die here, I think. Ugh, we're probably dead, though. We needed to... Well, I guess it didn't matter. The Kozilek's command is, like, super annoying. Sucks that we're going to lose this round, game 1 here. Maybe even lose like 5-0. I have to look at... It's been a while since I played this kind of deck. I have to look at my sideboard map, see what I want to do. We're probably dead, though. That's gotta be game now. Nine cards. There's no way they whiff, right? Yeah, let's mail it in. This game. All right, let's look at my map. I mean, we did what we could. We had turn 2 collective. It's just like they have the answer now, unfortunately. Alright, my map is not even updated for this deck, but I definitely want the Saga package. That's what we have it for. We don't want Talon Gates, I think. Actually, maybe we do. I don't think so, though. The game revolves around just protecting collective, so that I want the Sylvan Safekeepers. Cub, not great, but like Reclaimer's pretty trash in this matchup. I think we need the snuff outs for the Flesh Rakers. That's like one of their best cards. The Thought Seizes come in too. Alright, how much room do we have? Probably not much. Probably, I guess the Cub just come out. So I guess that makes sense. It doesn't really do anything. So here we're just like low to the ground. Part of the Talon Gates is probably right, I feel. And there's like hope we get to disrupt into natural order. Alright, Alright, I think we just submit this. It's probably fine. Protection, I don't think so, because they're just going to do it at the turn that they need to, right? Not the worst. Turn 2, oof, turn 4, turn 2, oof, turn 4, what's it called? Actually, I can even get it turn 3 now that I think about it. So if I want Needle out one turn earlier, I just play Saga now and go turn 2, like, oof, turn 3, like, lose my Saga. That's fine with me. If I had extra one, I don't know what you're at. What do you mean? Like, if I played 24 lands? Probably 12 fetches. I don't feel like we need layer. I would think about the basic swamp, but I think the correct answer is probably just 12 fetches. Sure. What are they gonna name? That's gonna be interesting. Yeah, I think so. I think so. I don't think it matters, but so they can make a thing. What do I want to name here? They make a construct. I think the reliquary beats the construct, so I don't think I care. I think I just want to double up on not losing to Karn, maybe? Just let me think about that. They can name Karn, but I have a collector oof out. And then the Saga's gonna die. Maybe I just still name the One Ring. It's like the scariest card. Especially with have a key, 2 keys out. Yeah, that's probably better. My opponent said they don't know what's the correct name, and they said they don't know if I have Wasteland or not. And I made a joke that I'm so unhinged I can be on anything. I don't think I care about that, to be honest. Where's this tower? That's kind of annoying. Ooh, alright. Good name. Let's pass. Thank you for the sub, Inigo. How's it going? I know, right? What a top deck. Can we get there? I don't know. I'm a little skeptical personally. Mystic Forge, sure. I don't think I care. I can draw the 2 cards or whatever it is. Not that I need it or anything, but like, I guess it helps. Yeah, the logic is if I draw Hoof for some reason. Really, if I wanted to play it safe, there's an argument to be made. Maybe I'm supposed to get a Traxa there, but we'll see. Hey Dukes, how's it going? We are, it's my first stream of the year. It's been a month and a half, but we are 4-0 and playing for the 5-0. This is game 3 now. Oh, hope you're doing well. I saw that your love for Legacy is coming back, so that's good to hear. I discussed earlier how I boarded, like, namely, I just want to like slow them down and have a fast clock on my own. I think this achieves it. We'll see. It's tough to be on the draw against this matchup, but like the Saga turn 1 there, I think like was pretty decent. This unkeepable hand. Not the worst. I think we've been 1 snuff out and pray. We're more than likely gonna have to turn 1 C's. Sure. Especially like Cake, Kozo's command is just so annoying. Like, our Reclaimer doing work even when not in. I think we have no choice but to seize here. Alright, we take the 1 ring. They have nothing else going, I think, for them. Yeah. Especially since we don't have Oof on for a while. Sure. Have you experienced any lag this league? I heard it's been fixed. A little bit of lag. Not horrible, but it came up a little bit, I guess. I guess this. We gotta pray that us missing land drops is kind of hurts. Really? Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, I think we're probably just screwed now. Oh my god. Or screwed. I guess that. Thoughtseize bug. Oh my god, we have to dodge 4 cards here. Huh? Let's look at the thing. Was there any other realistic choice that we could have taken? Workshop Ring Monolith. There wasn't, I guess. Monolith maybe. Does the same thing. Can you please pass? Please pass. Please pass. Oh, we're alive. Somehow. They must have dismember. So I messed up. I should have played this fetch first. So I can get the Arbor. No. Yeah, I made the small mistake of not playing it so that I could have extra 1 damage on board if I played out my fetch in response to the in response to the what is it called? I should play my fetch first, then play the Safekeeper, and then I would have extra, like I said, point of damage. I can respond to the dismember. They have like a zillion mana now. Is part of the problem. Not to mention, like, we can't get through the saga from attacks. Probably. Yeah, I guess. I'm not sure. I don't want to count my. I should have one extra attacker. It might cost me here. We shall see. Oh, they're gonna just close it like for like a million blockers, I think. I think that's what they're. Oh, okay. There's that, I guess. I should have one extra blocker, and I don't, and it is may cost me the game. Let me think about that. What else do I have here? I think it's just Wily Reliquary. They have the ring protection, so I can't do anything anyways. You're gonna tap out. What are the what is the modes here? Scries X to draw the card, and then they make 8 tokens. Okay, I guess so. So I'm not getting through with it. That makes me feel a little bit better, I guess. Although they have the Mystic Forge. NO off the top. The problem with that, even actually, that's lethal, I guess. Well, is it? That's 18. I'm short damage because I screwed up with the Arbor earlier. Because the problem is I don't think I can afford to pitch the Safekeeper under any circumstance. So I'm like short fodder now for NO. 3 top, 5 bottom. Jesus. Sure, I guess. Now it's lethal. Sure. I don't love how this is going. Okay. They forgot about the Safekeeper. Bridge is like interesting there. It's actually decent. Nope. All right. They can pitch both of these and then make a construct. I feel like we kind of have to take the Karn out here. Let's see what they did. They put Karn. They got the portable hole. I don't know what is next. Maybe another Karn or something. I think we have to attack. They're gonna make that thing. And then we snuff out the. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was hoping they were gonna do. Is there anything to do here? Probably not. They probably get Needle, to be honest. What did they get? Oh, they got the Needle. I don't even see what they got. I guess it's not relevant. Oh, I boarded out Talon Gates though. That could come back to haunt me. Sure. Oh my god! Don't tell me they ballista. They got a lattice? But why? Sure. Sure. Oh, I forgot. The collective is on board. Ugh. That's annoying. Now the block. I think I just snuff out that. Oh, God, I screwed up. I'm supposed to pitch this for an arbor to thin out the deck, but. Wait a minute. Do I just die now? What the hell is going on? Oh, they can't do anything either. Interesting, okay. Actually, cancel. I think I screwed up. I think I was supposed to block with the hierarch first and then snuff out the thing so I can attack the previous turn. I like brain farted. Yeah, I screwed up. I would have won the race if I didn't mess up. It's not because I screwed up. God. I was supposed to block with the thing and then attack. I would have one extra attack right now. Why can't they attack? Fuck. No, I'm still one. Well, oh my god, I think I like brain. Jesus. Jeez, I had this game won, and I just like brain farted like crazy right now. I, God, man. I don't know why I like brain farted earlier and just like forgot that the lattice shuts off my thing. And then I like I lost an attack that was a difference in winning and losing. Here, man, absolutely brutal. And I'm supposed to also, well, I guess it doesn't matter. What I was supposed to do. Okay, we passed it already, I guess. The turn that they attacked, I was supposed to block with the Noble Hierarch, and then snuff out their construct. So I get an extra attack with white, and that's the difference in the match. But because I didn't do that, like I was one attack short, and I also made the small mistake of not attacking with the collector oof too. But I don't think that would have affected the math. Let's see how many attacks did I lose without a collector oof. So one here, two here. I could have got two more attacks, but then there's no oh my God, I made two mistakes. Because I got hung up on the other play and then just like yeah, I could have got extra two damage. Oh my God, I'm like so mad at myself. All right, that's it for the stream. Just a blunder of threw the 5-0 for no reason. All right, who should we raid next? I guess we'll raid Everin, but I'm. Thanks for the kind words, Dukes. I apologize. I know I'm just like very upset with myself right now. I made like two huge mistakes. Like I'm supposed to let your attack through. I thought one was obvious. I didn't attack with a collective, and then so that's the difference. And the other thing was like when you attack, I could have blocked and then snuff out your second construct, so I get an extra white attack. So I like threw two different ways. God, all right, I'm pissed off on myself. All right. Hope everybody had fun tonight. I am sorry. I'm very upset at myself right now. Should have had the 5-0 easily. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll post this on YouTube.